What's going on, Lakers Nation? Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, your home for all the latest updates, breaking news, and exclusive analysis on our beloved Los Angeles Lakers. I'm here to bring you everything you need to know about the purple and gold, from roster moves to strategic decisions. And today I've got some significant news that just dropped and is already sending shockwaves through Lakers Nation. Something happened yesterday that caught a lot of people off guard. The kind of roster move that makes you stop and think about what the organization is planning, what direction they're heading, and what it means for the rest of the season. We're talking about a decision that affects the depth chart, that changes the dynamics of our big man rotation, and that signals a shift in how the Lakers are approaching their roster construction moving forward. Before we get into the specifics of this move, let me set the stage for what's been happening with the Lakers lately. This season has been about finding the right combinations, about discovering which players fit best in J.J. Redick's system, and about maximizing the talent we have on this roster. The coaching staff has been experimenting with different lineups, giving opportunities to various players, and evaluating who deserves consistent minutes in the rotation. Part of that evaluation process involves the two-way contract system. For those who might not be completely familiar with how this works, two-way contracts allow NBA teams to have additional players who can split time between the main roster and the G League affiliate. It's a valuable tool for player development, for giving young prospects experience, and for maintaining organizational depth. The Lakers have been strategic about how they use these two-way spots, and they're not afraid to make changes when they feel it's necessary. Throughout this season, the Lakers have been managing their roster carefully. We've seen Bronny James and Adu Thero getting reps with South Bay, developing their games in the G League before being recalled to the main roster. This back and forth is normal. It's part of the development process, and it shows that the organization is thinking long-term about these young players. Just recently, both Bronny and Adu were recalled from South Bay, indicating that the coaching staff wants them around the team, wants them practicing with the main squad, wants them absorbing everything they can from the veterans. But here's where things get interesting. The Lakers had 3 players on two-way contract, which is the maximum allowed under NBA rules. Bronny James, Adu Thero, and one other player. That third spot has been a topic of discussion among Lakers fans because it represents a valuable roster spot, a chance to add depth at a position of need, an opportunity to bring in someone who can contribute when called upon. And the player who had been occupying that third two-way spot is someone with an interesting backstory. We're talking about a big man, a center with legitimate size and defensive potential, someone who had shown flashes of ability, but also dealt with significant challenges. This player had been with the Lakers organization, working on his game, trying to earn his way into the rotation, hoping to prove he belonged at this level. The reality of NBA roster management is that tough decisions have to be made. Not every player who shows potential will get the opportunity to fully develop with one organization. Sometimes teams have to make choices based on immediate need, based on what they see in practice, based on what fits best with their current system and philosophy. And sometimes those decisions are difficult, but they're necessary for the overall health and direction of the franchise. Yesterday, November 25th, the Lakers made one of those difficult decisions. They made a roster move that opened up a two-way contract spot, a move that signaled they wanted to go in a different direction with that third two-way position. And the player affected by this decision is someone who Lakers fans have been watching, someone who had his supporters within the fan base, someone who represented potential, but hadn't quite been able to put it all together consistently. Christian Koloko. The Lakers ended Christian Koloko's two-way contract, making him a free agent. For those who might not remember Koloko's background, he's a 7-footer who was drafted in the second round by the Toronto Raptors back in 2022. He showed promise as a rim protector, someone with good instincts defensively, someone who could alter shots and provide size in the paint. But Koloko's career has been complicated by health issues, and he struggled to find consistent playing time and rhythm at the NBA level. The Lakers signed Koloko earlier this season on a two-way deal, giving him an opportunity to prove himself, to show that he could be a valuable depth piece at the center position. And to be fair to Koloko, he worked hard, he stayed ready, and he did what was asked of him when given opportunity. But in the end, the Lakers decided to move in a different direction, to use that two-way spot for someone else, to bring in a player they believe fits better with what they're trying to accomplish. And that brings us to the other part of this roster move, because the Lakers didn't just release Koloko and leave that two-way spot empty. They immediately filled it with another big man, someone with a different skill set, someone who brings a different dimension to the table. This is where the move gets really interesting, because it tells us something about what the Lakers value, about what they're looking for in their depth pieces, about what they think can help this team moving forward. Drew Timme. The Lakers signed Drew Timme to a two-way contract, bringing in the former Gonzaga star who had an incredible college career but has been trying to find his footing at the professional level. And Lakers Nation, this is a name that should excite you, because Timme brings something different than what we had with Koloko. He brings offensive skill, he brings playmaking ability, he brings a high basketball IQ that was evident throughout his time at Gonzaga. Let me break down who Drew Timme is for those who might not have followed his college career closely. Timme was a star at Gonzaga, one of the best big men in college basketball during his time there. He was a three-time All-American, a player who could score in the post, who had a soft touch around the rim, who could pass out of double teams, and who understood how to play winning basketball. He helped lead Gonzaga to multiple deep tournament runs, and he was one of the most skilled offensive big men in college basketball. Now, Timme went undrafted in 2023, which tells you that NBA teams had questions about how his game would translate to the professional level. He's not the most athletic big man. He's not a rim-running lob threat. And there were concerns about whether he could defend at the NBA level. But what Timme does have is skill, is feel for the game, is the ability to make plays and create advantages with his passing and his scoring touch. After going undrafted, Timme has been working on his game, trying to prove he belongs in the NBA. He's been in various situations, trying to show teams that his offensive skill and basketball IQ can overcome any athletic limitations. And now the Lakers are giving him an opportunity, bringing him in on a two-way deal to see what he can contribute, to evaluate whether his skill set fits what they're trying to do. So what does this move tell us about the Lakers' thinking? First, it suggests they value offensive skill and basketball IQ in their depth piece. Timme is a better offensive player than Koloko. There's no question about that. He can create his own shot in the post. He can make plays for others, and he understands spacing and how to operate within an offense. For a team that sometimes struggles to generate offense from the bench, having someone like Timme who can create a little bit could be valuable. Second, it indicates that the Lakers are willing to make changes when they don't see the progress they want. Koloko had his chance, and while he worked hard, the Lakers decided they wanted to try something different. That's not a knock on Koloko as a person or even as a player. It's just the reality of NBA roster management. Teams have to constantly evaluate and make decisions about who gives them the best chance to win. Third, this move shows that the Lakers are thinking creatively about their roster construction. Timme isn't a traditional NBA center in terms of athleticism and rim protection, but he brings skills that could be useful in certain matchups and situations. J.J. Redick has shown he's willing to experiment with different lineup combinations, and having a skilled big man like Timme available gives him another option to consider. Now, let's be realistic about what this means for the Lakers' rotation. Timme isn't going to suddenly become a regular rotation player. He's on a two-way contract, which means he'll likely spend significant time with South Bay, developing his game and staying ready. But the Lakers now have a different type of option available if they need it. A skilled offensive big man who can give them something different than what they get from their other centers. Timing of this move is also interesting. We're about a quarter of the way through the season, and the Lakers are evaluating their roster, figuring out what they have, and identifying areas where they might want to make changes. This two-way contract move is relatively minor in the grand scheme of things, but it's part of a larger process of roster optimization that will continue throughout the season. For Christian Koloko, this is obviously a setback, but he's now a free agent and can sign with any team. He's still young, he's still 7 feet tall, and there are teams around the league who might be interested in giving him another opportunity. His journey isn't over, and I wish him the best as he looks for his next opportunity. The NBA is a tough business, and not every player's path is straightforward. For Drew Timme, this is a golden opportunity. He's getting a chance with one of the most prestigious franchises in basketball, a team with championship aspirations, and a coaching staff that values skill and basketball IQ. If Tim can show that his offensive ability translates to the NBA level, if he can prove he can defend well enough to stay on the floor, he could carve out a role for himself. It's up to him to make the most of this opportunity. Looking at the bigger picture, this move is part of the Lakers' ongoing effort to optimize their roster and find the right combination. The two-way contracts are a valuable tool for experimentation, for trying different types of players, for seeing what works and what doesn't. The Lakers have been smart about using these spots, and this latest move continues that trend. It's also worth noting that the Lakers have been active with their G League affiliate. The back and forth with Bronny James and Adu Thiero shows they're committed to player development, to giving their young prospects the reps they need to improve. Now, with Tim added to the mix, South Bay has another interesting player to develop and evaluate. The G League is a crucial part of the modern NBA ecosystem, and the Lakers are using it effectively. As we move forward in the season, it'll be interesting to see if Tim gets any opportunities with the main roster. Will there be games where J.J. Redick decides to give him some minutes to see what he can do against NBA competition? Will there be situations where his skill set is particularly valuable? These are questions that will be answered over time, and I'll be watching closely to keep you all updated. The bottom line is this: the Lakers made a strategic decision to swap out Christian Koloko for Drew Timme on their two-way contract. They're prioritizing offensive skill and basketball IQ. They're giving themselves a different type of option at the center position, and they're continuing to evaluate and optimize their roster. It's a relatively minor move in terms of immediate impact, but it's part of the larger process of building the best possible team. Now I want to hear from you, Lakers. What do you think of this move? Are you excited about Drew Timme getting an opportunity with the Lakers? Do you think his offensive skill can translate to the NBA level? And what about Christian Koloko? Do you think the Lakers should have given him more time? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because I love hearing from this community, and your perspectives always add valuable insight. If you found this breakdown helpful, if you appreciate getting the latest Lakers news and analysis delivered in a clear and comprehensive way, hit that like button. It helps the channel grow, it helps more Lakers fans find this content, and it lets me know you're enjoying what we're building here at Lakers News Fan Report. And if you're not already subscribed, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. We're covering everything Lakers, from roster moves to game analysis, from injury updates to trade discussions. This is your home for comprehensive Lakers coverage, and I want you to be part of this community. Share this video with your fellow Lakers fans who might not have heard about this roster move yet. Let's keep everyone in Lakers Nation informed and engaged. The more we grow this community, the better our discussions become. I'll be back with more updates as the season continues, and you can bet I'll be tracking Drew Timme's progress and letting you know if he gets any opportunities with the main roster. Until then, keep supporting the Lakers, keep believing in this team, and keep coming back to Lakers News Fan Report for all your purple and gold coverage. Let's go, Lakers!